Title: The Gilded Silence. Prologue: The Cost of a Century. The room was a masterpiece of stillness. Ivory silk cascaded from the canopy like frozen waterfalls, and the air tasted of ancient dust and expensive lilies. In the center of this opulent mausoleum lay Eleanor, the crown princess of Ethelgard. To the world outside, she was a myth, the sleeping sentinel who had held the kingdom's magical barriers together for 100 years. She wasn't just sleeping, she was a living battery. Every breath she drew in this enchanted slumber fueled the Lumina Veil, a golden dome of energy that protected the city from the Umbra, shadow beasts that thrived in the darkness beyond the walls. Part I: The Architecture of a Dream. While her body lay rigid on the silk pillows, Eleanor's mind was a vast, sprawling landscape of the Echo, a dream world she had built to keep herself sane. In the Echo, she wasn't a princess, she was a Lara, a simple girl who lived in a seaside cottage where the sun never set. Here, she experienced the happiness she was denied in reality. She spent her days painting the ocean and her nights dancing at Loca festivals. It was there she met Julian, a lighthouse keeper with a laugh that sounded like the tide. Their love was the cornerstone of her dream. For decades of dream time, they built a life together. She felt the warmth of his hand, the longing when he was away at sea, and the sheer ecstasy of a life without crowns or sacrifices. Julian was her anchor. He was the reason she didn't want to wake up. Part vertical bar. The cracks in the porcelain, the drama began when a stranger appeared in her dream, a man named Kalen, dressed in the silver armor of the Roval Guard. Kalen wasn't a product of her imagination. He was a dream walker, sent from the Rhea world. "Eleanor," he whispered, standing on her dream beach. "The veil is breaking, the Umbra have breached the outer gates. If you don't wake up now, Ethelgard falls, and your body will be consumed by the shadows." The conflict was agonizing. To wake up meant to lose Julian forever. Julian, who was currently standing by the cottage door, waving at her the grief. Eleanor realized that if she saved the kingdom, she would have to kill the man she loved, for he only existed in her mind. The despair. She looked at her hands in the dream thev were tan and calloused. She knew in the real world her hands, as seen in the photo, were pale, soft, and useless. Part ill. The awakening and the void driven by a sense of duty. She hated Eleanor chose to shatter her dream the moment she decided to wake. The cottage, the sea, and Julian dissolved into gray ash. The scene from the photo changes. Her eaves snapped open. The transition was violent. The silence of the room felt like a physical weight. She tried to call out Julian's name, but her throat, unused for a century, produced only a drv rasp. She looked at the gold embroidery on her bed. To others it was wealth. To her, it looked like the bars of a Ka, the supporting cast of the real-world Queen Seraphina, her grandniece, now an old woman, who looked at Eleanor not as a relative, but as a holy relic to be used. Kalen, the guard, the only one who saw her as a human. He felt a deep guilt for dragging her back from her paradise into a world of war. Lord Malachar, a corrupt advisor who wanted Eleanor to stab, half awake, so he could siphon her power for his own dark magic. Part IV. A world of ash and iron. The middle of the novel follows Eleanor's struggle to adapt. The Ethelgard she remembered was gone. The new world was industrial, cold, and terrified. The sorrow. She wandered the palace like a ghost. Every time she saw a lighthouse or smelled the sea, she would break down, mourning a man who never existed. The drama. She discovered that her sacrifice was a lie told by the church. The veil didn't need her to sleep. It was a mechanism designed to keep the monarchy in power by keeping the people afraid. The action. Eleanor, fueled by the rage of a stolen life, teamed up with Kalen and a group of rebels. She used the magical energy stored in her body, the gilded fire, to fight not just the Umbra, but the corrupt government that had kept her enslaved in silk. Part V. The bittersweet horizon. The climax of the story is a massive battle at the capital's gates. Eleanor had to choose: rebuild the veil and go back to sleep to save the city, or destroy the veil, let the people fight for themselves, and finally live her own life. In a moment of intense bravado and sadness, she destroyed the magical source. The gold on her dress turned to black iron. She was no longer a battery, she was just a woman. The ending. The war was won, but at a great cost. Kalen was injured, and the city was in ruins. But for the first time in 100 years, Eleanor walked out of the palace. She traveled to the actual coast, to the spot where her dream cottage had been. It was empty, V. There was no Julian. She sat on the sand, feeling the cold wind, a real sensation, far better than a perfect dream. She wept for the life she lost. But then she smiled. She wasn't an icon, a saint, or a sleeper anymore. She was a leaner, and for the first time, she was truly awake. My dear children, thank you so much for watching and joining us on this magical journey. Always remember that learning is a superpower that helps you grow and achieve your dreams. Every new thing you learn today makes you brighter tomorrow. If you want to improve your English and become better at speaking it, don't forget to subscribe and join our family. We will help you master the language in the most fun and easy way possible. Thank you for being such wonderful listeners. Stay curious, keep learning, and we'll see you in our next adventure. Goodbye for now.